Hey guys, and welcome to the Blue Bridge. And today I'm going to be looking at three topics. I'm going to be looking at Madueke. I'm going to be talking about injuries, and I'm going to be talking about league positions. So let's get into it. So, um, reasonable result against Arsenal. I'd love to have beaten them. I haven't beaten them at the Stamford Bridge for 6 years, but I'll take a draw because this is a good Arsenal side, and we've come a far way because we've kind of matched and went toe to toe with a full strength Arsenal side yesterday, and we are showing signs of progression. I'll go on to talk about that a bit later, but first, let's address the situation with Noni. I didn't realise at the time that Noni, when he was substituted in yesterday's game, he stormed off the pitch and headed straight to the dressing room, didn't sit and watch the rest of the game with the rest of the players. And we've had an issue with Noni and his selfishness in the past. On the pitch, we've had situations where he's tried to grab the ball and take penalties and we had that embarrassing moment when he was fighting with Nicholas Jackson over who should take a penalty. We've had situations where he's been in good positions to cross the ball and instead he's cut in to take shots. I've been supportive of him in recently. There was I think it was a Nottingham Forest game where I thought that all the situations that he was in, he was right to take the shot. Not so much was it Crystal Palace where he chose the wrong option. So I'm not one who's just going to be knocking Noni for the sake of knocking him. I look at things as I see them objectively. But yesterday it just proved again that he hasn't matured and he's still very selfish, because you've got to realise this is about the team. It's not about individuals. It's not the Noni show, it's a Chelsea show. And he's got to be a team player. And it doesn't, who does he think he is though, at the end of the day? Who does he really think he is, that he should be playing 90 minutes of every game? You know, you got people like João Felix and Nkuku who have to sit on the bench, who don't even get play game time, who are arguably better players than he is. But obviously, because they don't play in the similar positions, he's the one who is the name on the team sheet. So he's got to be grateful that he's on that team sheet, because let's face it, going into the season, if you had put Noni as the number one winger, then most people would have said no, I don't think so, because he wasn't really the number one under Pochettino. So he's just become number one under this manager. So he's got to stay humble, and I don't think at the moment he's staying humble. I know he's got into the England side as well. That's made his ego, boosted his ego up a notch. And for me, I just feel that this guy needs to get with the programme and just humble himself. And let's be honest, okay, he's in there not only for his one-on-one dribbling skills, because he didn't really take on his man that often yesterday. I only saw him take on his man 2 or 3 occasions. Didn't really do it a lot. Okay, defensively he came back quite well, but in that critical moment, it was him who didn't track back, who allowed so he's got to be partly blamed as well for the goal that Martinelli scored as well, because he's seen the situation. He's seen that Gusto's been drawn into the middle a bit, so he should have got to come back in, because he's seen 2 guys on the far post unmarked. You got to come back. He was strolling back, and it allowed Martinelli all the time and space to score the goal. So he wasn't even doing that defensive work at that time. So Maresca's probably seen that, he's probably noted that. And the thing is, when Neto moved over to the other side, he was more productive, improved it by scoring the goal. So what do you guys think about Noni? Am I being a bit too harsh on him, or do you agree with me? Do you think that he needs to become more humble, more of a team player, and get rid of that selfish streak that he has in his game? Or do you think that's what makes him the player he is? The fact that he's selfish? Is it the fact that he wants to be on the pitch all the time, helping out his teammates? Is it a frustration thing more than a selfish thing? Let me know what you think. What's your comments on that situation? As I said, stick it in the section below. So the other thing I want to address is I want to go into the injury issue, because I've been beating this drum for the last 2 seasons now, and I've had people come at me saying you're talking nonsense when I've said, look, part of the reason that we are not doing as well as we should be is because of the injuries. We had some key players out. Reece James, who's arguably our most important defender, he's been out for 2 seasons. We had Lavia out last season, and Cuckoo, who was going to be a big part of our team last season, because remember we didn't bring in the Netos and the Sanchez's and the Felixes last season, so he would have been a big part of our season last year, and he was integral to the way that Pochettino wanted to play his football. He missed the bulk of the season. Chukwuemeka, okay, he's not playing now, but he was good in the Poch system as well. But again, he was missing a lot of the season. I can go on. Fofana missed all last season as well. So we had big injuries, and I was defending the team, saying, look, we've got to give them a little bit of leeway because of the injury situation. But I was told, you're talking nonsense. Now we're seeing it with Manchester City. Manchester City have lost their last 4 games. 4 games in a trot. Why? Because they've got a couple of injuries to key players at the moment. You're seeing it with Arsenal, with Odegaard, who was out, and but Rice is back now. But you've seen that with Arsenal, a bit of a slump. So what are we saying now? So the last thing I want to talk about today is the league table. So, okay, going into the international break, we're sitting pretty. We're in 3rd position in the league table. But am I getting carried away? Not quite. Why? If you look at the league table, what's separating us from the team in 13th, who's Manchester United? There's only 4 points which are separating those teams. So it's very tight at the top. There's 3 of us on 19, us, Brighton and Arsenal. And then you've got a load of teams who are on 18 points. So 1 defeat that could move us from, and if other results go against us, we can go from 3rd to 6th in one week. But having said that, the reason to be cheerful, or the reason to be optimistic about the way the season is going, is the fact that we've played 11 games this season, and we've already played against what I call the big 5. So we've played against Manchester City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Manchester United, Newcastle, and so that's 5 teams who we've already played against. And not forgetting Nottingham Forest, who are in the top 5 at the moment, who are going through a good spell at the minute. Brighton, who've beaten the likes of drawn with Arsenal, I think beaten Manchester City. Would they beat Arsenal? I can't remember the draw or win. So Brighton are a team who are doing well at the moment, and so we've got results against both those teams. So we've yet to play. Apart from Wolverhampton Wanderers, we've yet to play Ipswich home and away. We haven't played the likes of your Southamptons or Everton. So those teams who are sort of in the lower half of the table, we have yet to play against them. Aston Villa we've got coming up soon as well. Leicester as well, that's the other team we haven't played. Aston Villa, I think the way they play will suit us down to a T with that high line. I saw them playing with that suicidal high line at the weekend, and with our pace, with the likes of our Netos, and if we play a Mudrich or Jackson team, players like that, exploiting the spaces behind against Aston Villa, if they don't adopt a different style, then I feel that we can get a lot of joy. But what I'm seeing is progression in this team at the moment. Okay, as I said, it could be a false table because it's the way that the table is, but we are seeing progression. I think we're 4 or 5 points better off than we were last season. As I said, seen us go toe-to-toe with Arsenal, toe-to-toe with Liverpool. The Man City game was the first game of the season. I didn't think we did enough. I thought Man City didn't get out of second gear in that one, but we are gradually seeing this team playing better. What do we need to get over that final hurdle to be challenging for a proper title? I'm not confident. I keep saying this. I'm not confident this season, but if we had an Osimhen, especially yesterday, or it's that cross if we can imagine an Osimhen on the end of that cross that Malagusto messed up, and when we do, not only can Osimhen help us offensively, but defensively as well. I've never seen a guy with such a leap like that, and he'll give us a different dimension in attack. And I say a good goalkeeper, a goalkeeper that I'm confident in, who's not going to be making mistakes week in, week out. And a defender with a bit of experience maybe as well. So get those three positions, that spine, then I'll be more confident in us going into the rest of the season and beyond. So guys, what do you think? Do you think we're nearly there? What do you think we need to be challenging for the title? Or do you think this is just a false dawn, and come November, December time, when the fixtures start to pile up, do you think that we are going to see us dipping in form? Stick your comments in the section below. And don't forget, guys, like, subscribe, turn on all post notifications to be notified every time I make a new video. So take care for now. Bye-bye.